Alright, welcome back to another episode of Los Compadres. I am Bert.
I'm Sam.
I'm Jose.
Raul.
So we got Raul this time. We're going to talk a little bit more baseball. Let's start off with the face of the MLB. It was decided this morning, and Paul Goldschmidt beat Mike Trout.
Which was bullshit.
Well, this is just to be clear. This wasn't deciding. This is just the first round, right? It wasn't even like if this is the final between Mike Trout versus Goldschmidt.
Exactly. So Mike Trout actually got eliminated in the first round.
Yeah, he was the first person. It was the first poll. Yeah, it was the first one ever for this year. It was decided by the fans. I'm not sure if it was also on Facebook. I know it was on Twitter.
Yeah, it's purely a fan voted poll, and I remember last year, which there might have been some stuff, some voting stuffing by the Arizona fans, I would say, based on last year's voting when Miguel Montero, I think, made it to maybe the semifinals or the quarterfinals, which I'm not sure if Miguel Montero has any business being that far.
Yeah.
So hell no.
I mean, in any which way, it is what it is. Goldschmidt beat out Mike Trout. You really can't take anything away from Goldschmidt. Obviously, he plays in Arizona. He really doesn't get the credit that he deserves. He's a guy who can consistently bat you over 300, close to 40 home runs, steal close to 20 bases, over 100 RBIs. Yeah, there may have been some vote stuffing, but you really can't blame the fans for voting for Goldschmidt over Trout.
Yeah, I would have voted against. I mean, Goldschmidt getting out of the first round, that doesn't surprise me. He's a really good player, but when you're faced against Mike Trout, who's arguably one of the top two players in baseball.
The way I see it is, it's like high school. I mean, this is voted by the fans. Does the average fan even know Paul Goldschmidt? I barely learned how to spell his name because of talking shit.
I don't know.
So
that's actually a good point, because the poll is the face of the MLB. It's not really even saying like who's the best player. And right now, like,
aside from that, who's the best player?
All bias aside, though, even Mike Trout, for how good he is, how marketable he is, you would think he'd probably be the clear winner of this, even putting aside like exactly how good he is.
Yeah, not taking anything away from Mike Trout. Obviously, Mike Trout's abilities are incredibly amazing. Probably he might end up, by the time his career is done, he's probably going to end up doing things that possibly no other MLB player has ever done. However, I mean, it's a close race. It's a close race. Obviously, Paul Goldschmidt isn't the guy that's, nationwide known, I guess. So, in my opinion, it could go either way.
Yeah, well, he's a great talent, and so I agree that, he's up there, and he got voted the face of his own team. But when you're going up against a Mike Trout, how does that happen?
Keep in mind, Mike Trout plays in Anaheim. Anaheim isn't the biggest baseball town.
But Arizona is?
Yeah, exactly. Arizona isn't either.
Yeah,
you know what? Then they're pretty much even.
And people know Mike Trout. He's out there everywhere watching. He's at the Eagles games, sitting front row on. I don't know.
Yeah, they know him as a spectator. Going out this, that, and the other. They probably don't know how good of a ball player he is. That's the biggest thing.
I think you are a little bit biased, though. Especially, I don't know why.
You know me. I'm a Dodger fan. I hate the Diamondbacks and the Angels.
Exactly, but I think just because Mike Trout, Goldschmidt, you even said yourself, Goldschmidt came up, I think a year ago, halfway up, maybe this and that. He did good. Now you're saying he's consistently doing something, which he hasn't. And then I told you, Mike Trout's going to be good. But he's the last year before, like when he came up a couple months in, and he said, let's wait until he does 2 or 3 years. But you're saying Goldschmidt is better, or he's kind of proven.
But see, when you talk about that, then you're talking about actual facts. Paul Goldschmidt went through high school, went to college. I think he went to actually UCLA, and he's more of a polished hitter, more of a polished ball player. Mike Trout didn't go to college, went straight out of high school, raw, extremely raw, which, there's only a couple ball players who can get away with that. Mike Trout's an incredible talent, don't get me wrong, and I hate to admit it, but Paul Goldschmidt is a more polished ball player.
I would not really agree with that. Their age difference is only 2 years or 3 years apart. Their experience is Paul Goldschmidt only has 1 year on. Actually, not even really 1 year, because his first career year is at the age of 23. He only played 40 games. So even just judging his 2 years that he has, they both basically have the exact same experience. And arguably, both Mike Trout's years have been better than both of Paul Goldschmidt's years.
Better than most people ever in the history.
Yeah,
and see, my argument is that I don't know if it came down to popularity as much, because if you watch the MLB Network or any ESPN, who do they say is the best player in baseball?
Man, look at Bert.
No, the best player.
Yeah,
He's the best hitter.
Best hitter.
The
Best player? Oh, yo,
Mike Trout.
Matt
But
Kemp.
what they say, though.
He made it pretty far last year.
He did. He was close. He was
But when
close
it comes
to it.
down to that, I think it has to do with
Wasn't it Matt? Oh, sorry to interrupt. Wasn't it Matt Kemp versus Mike Trout and Kemp beat Trout?
Kemp
Yeah,
beat Trout
Kemp
last
beat
year,
Trout.
and then
That was
Votto-
when he was
I think the
healthy.
last two were Votto and Kemp, and Votto ended up winning.
Yeah.
But I don't know, when it comes down to that, I think it's people voting just ridiculous amount of times. Because what upset me about it is that a lot of fans are saying Trout should leave the Angels because look at your fans don't even vote for you. I don't think it comes down to that. I think it's a lot of spam bots that were tweeting, set up an account to just tweet 1 billion times.
And then again, I could just be playing devil's advocate right here. It could be that maybe, spectators, from Podunk, Indiana, God knows wherever the hell that is, say, you know what, well, why should I vote for Mike Trout? Because they also have Albert Pujols and they also have Josh Hamilton. Why should I do that? If, it's...
Well, because you're voting for the face.
But that's a big thing.
They already won the face because they had an elimination you vote for who's the face of that team, and so Mike Trout won that by the fans too.
Yeah.
So after that, there's no question of I don't think he's the face of that team.
Yeah,
and that was the face of.
That's what I'm saying. But to what you were saying earlier is that people who really don't know the game, they say, he's right there playing ball with two of the other big guys.
But if they know the
however,
game, how do they know that?
However, that's Josh Hamilton, Albert Pujols are pretty much household names. We all know
is
that.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout is
You don't know the game.
becoming a household
You don't know the
name.
game. You don't
Paul
know
Goldschmidt. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Paul Goldschmidt is making a name for himself on a team that nobody knows about.
No, but
not at all, because he's got Albert Pujols and Josh Hamilton.
He's nowhere near the popularity of Mike Trout.
All right, but look, let's say those same fans are using.
That's in Anaheim, by the way.
You're using it.
That's all over the world.
Those same fans are using it as an example. If they don't really know, let's say, who Mike Trout is, but they know who Paul Goldschmidt is, I'm pretty sure those same fans would be knowledgeable enough to know how shitty Josh Hamilton has been and how shitty Albert Pujols has been. That they would, from what I've seen, everyone elevates Mike Trout even more because he's showing up these guys getting paid $20 million a year, $25 million a year.
That's exact. I completely agree with you. However, that's to the knowledgeable fan. However, people who really, those guys, I just go to the ball games. I really don't watch the games on TV. I don't look at stats or anything. Those same people are like, Albert Pujols, he was an MVP one year. Josh Hamilton was an MVP one year. He was playing with Mike Trout. Like stuff like that. That could influence the type of voting that they are.
I disagree with that only in the sense of, which takes me back to MVP voting, which is...
that is a different subject. We talked about this.
If you're talking about removing or stealing votes, then why did Miguel Cabrera win when Verlander and Pinfielder were winning votes, supposedly? They were the top 5. All 3 of them top 5.
We've talked about
How do you still
this.
win MVP if you're talking about vote stealing from other teams?
Because two different type of people. That's the writers who know about
I
stats
just want
and
to throw
everything.
that out there.
Don't do that, because we've talked
See,
about this
that's
many
writers,
times.
and that's
I've
writers.
agreed with you about MVP voting. We've had this conversation. I've agreed with
Well,
you.
that a pitcher should never win.
You don't want to
Go with
punch in the
that.
face.
I'm going with
I
that.
will punch you in the
They have
throat.
their own
Where you
stat,
had
which
your
is
point on that was the writers voting that, and this was actually the fans.
Exactly.
I don't agree. I think it was spam voting, whatever.
Well, I think it's
In
pretty
all
clear
honesty,
that
if you ask me, gun in my head right now, who would I start a franchise with, Paul Goldschmidt or Mike Trout? I'm gonna tell you Mike Trout 9 times out of 10.
Yeah,
because one time I might be drunk and I might say Goldschmidt. I don't know.
That'd be 10 times that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I understand that you're playing devil's advocate, but yeah, what it comes down to, this is most likely because of spam voting. Which, again, I point to last year, Miguel Montero, from the same exact team, made it to, I want to say the final 2 or 3 rounds.
And who knows?
Yeah.
And who knows Montero?
And actually, kind of changing the subject a little bit, but still on
This is
this.
solid.
Looking at the bracket, Votto won last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, why is David Ortiz getting a bye?
I briefly heard them explain it because Votto because he won it last year,
that's I understand.
and
Votto.
Ortiz because they won the World Series, and just to even it out.
Okay, because I understand they had to give somebody.
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
But see, if you really think about it, right now who's winning against Derek Jeter and Chase Hanley?
Well,
Chase
Headley is a better player.
Chase Headley.
Chase Headley is a better
Chase
player.
Headley is not a better player than Derek Jeter.
Right now?
Right
now, yeah.
Chase Headley Chase Headley had a down season last season.
Yeah, you got a point. You got a point.
But he doesn't play in the worst stadium in the world. Derek Jeter plays in the base, and he can't even stay healthy.
And see, that's what comes down to the popularity. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's all popularity.
Well, because when you think of baseball, who do you think of? You think Derek Jeter. Well, I mean, aside from the tabloids, you think A-Rod, you think all the steroids and all that.
You think about New York. That's stupid about it. Everything is East Coast
New York,
bias. Everything's about East
New York,
Coast bias.
LA type deal.
East Coast.
ESPN is obviously East Coast bias.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Looking at the list, who do you guys think... Okay, kind of two questions. Who do you guys think should win? Who do you guys think is going to win?
I have no idea.
I am not wearing my
Paul
glasses.
Goldschmidt's probably going to win.
I'm not.
Yeah, if he beats Trout,
is Clayton Kershaw in there?
Yeah,
I'm not wearing my
I
glasses.
think he's probably going to...
I would take Clayton Kershaw.
He's got a good chance.
Because, in all honesty, obviously, you guys see the hat, Dodger fan, I've said it before. But it's not just so much what he does on the field. I mean, when was the last time you saw somebody put up an ERA under 2?
I heard he's also good off the field.
He's amazing off the field. He opened up several orphanages in Africa, and you will never see him in the tabloids. You won't. He is he is the most amazing guy in baseball right now, and he deserves the contract that he got.
Yeah,
he does.
If I'm going to give any pitcher that much money, which admittedly it's probably more than I would ever give any pitcher, but
salaries are inflated.
It's still it would go to Kershaw.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking at the list, I would say, well, Votto won last year, and if it's because of voting, I don't see why he might not win.
I'm not gonna lie, I love Votto's opposite the field home runs. I love him. I love his oppo bombs. Those are amazing.
No one looks better.
Nobody does. Really? Have you seen it? Gets it way back here, and all of a sudden he knows he's got it, and it's ridiculous.
If it was up to me, like the face of the MLB, I would say without Trout losing, there's 4 people that I would say would win. And for obvious reasons, I would say David Ortiz, Derek Jeter, Kershaw, and Trout.
Yeah.
But looking at the list,
looking
at the list, there's a couple others I would say, but they're all the ones that I think are favorites are on one side of the bracket. So the ones Andrew McCutchen I think is another one that could get tossed out there, and a young guy that I like that I would toss up there, maybe not quite yet, but I can see him becoming that is Jose Fernandez.
Yeah, solid.
That guy is probably the most gifted pitcher of all the MLB. No joke. What is he, like 20, 21?
20, I think.
Yeah.
He is probably the most gifted, he's got the most electric stuff.
See, we're all saying him just because we know baseball. Who knows Jose Fernandez
no one
besides us?
Yeah.
Besides baseball players.
Because
no one knows him.
Nobody knows him in Florida. That's
exactly. So he's probably going to win.
Well, I was pretty good when I went to Miami. I just want to say that.
It's kind of tough luck for him. Tough luck for him. That first round matchup is against Miguel Cabrera.
There you go. Miguel Cabrera just because he won the Triple Crown.
Oh, he's against Miguel Cabrera?
Yeah,
that's so horrible.
Actually, another pretty tough match is Andrew McCutchen versus King Felix.
There you go.
Yeah, first round too.
The reigning MVP.
Andrew McCutchen might just win just because he's a little bit more East Coast, and then them never won. And Pittsburgh probably just give him the vote just because Pittsburgh Pittsburgh's just not very good.
I got to, man. Sorry about that, guys. We're talking about a bathroom break right now. And this thing, so.
We'll keep it going.
Yeah, hey, y'all keep it cruising. Keep on keeping on.
Alright, so we're going to move on to free agent signings.
Oh, you're leaving? Jesus. I'll be back.
So, okay, let's start off with who you think has been the best, the winner so far, the team that's been the best with their signings.
Well, because a lot of the teams, in my opinion, a lot of the teams that have actually made a lot of signings and impact signings are teams that, in the end, it might not help too much. But the two biggest, most active teams right now have been the Mariners and the Yankees.
Yeah.
But those two teams, I don't think they signed enough to be competitive in their divisions.
Well, I don't know. Like, I think the Yankees, their lineup is sick.
Yeah.
But, like, the pitching...
Well, now what they have just CC and Tanaka.
Well, have you seen CC lately? That guy dropped, like, 100,000 pounds.
But he might not throw as hard, though. That's the thing about when you lose weight, you lose also velocity.
Or in what's the name's case last year, Hamilton power.
Yeah.
Or like in I don't want to say it because I don't want to talk about him. Joe Bland, he lost a lot of weight when he went to the Dodgers, and look how bad he did.
That's CC Sabathia.
Wow. Yeah, he's skinny.
Right,
he took a picture with the entourage people.
Sabathia.
Yeah, he's gonna throw maybe like 85. He's gonna throw 85.
That's
now.
CC Sabathia now.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely not throwing hot in the 90s anymore after that.
He lost. That's a good 70, 80 pounds, maybe.
At least 50. At least 50.
Wow.
Let's go with 50.
I mean, if that's the real picture, fuck.
Usually, when the pitcher loses weight, they don't throw as hard. I don't know how. Even though they keep long tossing, they don't throw as hard as they used to.
Well, because a good part of pitching is like that back leg and pitching off that back leg, right?
Yeah.
And putting your weight and kind of like swinging.
Yeah.
You take a swing. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight.
But yeah, well, what else did they sign? They signed Ellsbury, but they got rid of what's his name, right? Curtis Granderson.
And Granderson's gone.
And Canelo's gone. So their lineup, I don't know how much it did increase because they got Brian McCann. I think
McCann was a plus.
Smells good.
It's a plus, especially in that stadium. Brian McCann.
Beltran.
Oh, they got Beltran now too.
That's the thing. Beltran is sick.
Okay, Carlos Beltran has been ever since after his final year with the Mets.
Yeah.
He's actually pretty much resurged his career again.
Yeah.
They got Ellsbury.
They got Ellsbury.
So their lineup is
Beltran
stacked.
is a switch hitter, but pretty much all lefties right there. That in that stadium.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like McCann and
And
Ellsbury.
you think about it, Mark Teixeira's coming back.
Yeah.
After a year, he didn't play him pretty much the whole year.
Would their pitching be enough though?
That's
No,
the
I
real
don't
question
know.
mark. But I mean, their lineup. The Yankees are known for scoring runs. As long as they can have their pitching keep them under 5-6 runs, they're in the game.
This is the big thing about their pitching. This is the big thing about the Yankees pitching. Is all throughout his career, CC Sabathia has always said that, doctors have always said, you're big, you're a big burly guy. However, your weight and your muscle is at an even keel for you to play any sport. So you're extremely healthy. And I don't know if people have seen the pictures.
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah,
while you were gone, we just talked about it.
Well,
He lost
I just
weight.
barely got. Yeah, he lost a ton of weight.
Yeah, he lost it.
So
All right.
that's the only thing, because there's been several athletes out there.
And what happens when you lose weight?
Russell Martin, when he tried to gain a lot more weight to get more muscle, what happened? That's when he batted like 220, 230.
How many home runs? 10, maybe. at the
10,
most.
if that.
Yeah.
There's been so many other guys out there lose weight, and then, because at the very beginning of the baseball season, everybody wants to start off 20, 30 pounds more than what they should.
Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah, because throughout the year, what do? During the heat of the summer,
because you
lose all the weight.
don't
The point I brought up-
work out as hard as
Yeah,
you.
the point I brought up was Josh Hamilton last year.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
He came in, I believe, 20
Small.
to 30 pounds underweight.
Small, yep.
And I sucks that it ended up being true. My initial reaction was like, how is it going to affect his hitting? I don't know if it was a lot of it seemed to be mental, but his power did seem to drop down.
Oh,
and this
absolutely.
year, I don't know how many of you guys saw that MLB Network.
He got bigger.
Like,
I'm gonna start on Twitter.
He's back to normal.
That's a big thing.
His
'cause
face looks full now.
Baseball's a grind, is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, he even said it himself. He said he's lifting heavy
For the
weights,
first time, right?
something he's never done.
Yeah.
And now he's just lifting hard. His diet is gluten free.
Yeah.
And just
That
complex carbs and stuff
Joints
like
feel good.
that. Yeah, everything. Hopefully, it goes back to
Better than what he said
2000
last year when he said he
2010.
was juicing.
That
Because all he was doing was drinking juices, is what he said. Remember that?
Well, you
He's,
were taking, you only
so
want to take it the wrong way.
Some reporters are like, "Oh, well, Josh Hamilton, you looked like you lost weight, and Mike Trout, it seems like you found it."
Well, Mike
Do you guys
Trout
remember
is
that?
a beast.
Because I remember Mike
overall.
Trout, they initially said because he had gained some
Mhm.
weight, but it didn't look like it affected him too much.
No,
Yeah.
God no.
Actually, well, back to the Yankees a little bit. Okay, this is their projected lineup. Let me read it out really quick. Batting first, Ellsbury, Derek Jeter. Is he healthy?
Not yet.
It should be.
Okay,
I think he should be by opening day.
Carlos Beltran, Mark Teixeira, batting fifth, Brian McCann, Alfonso Soriano. Kind of forgot he was still on
I
there.
forgot
Yeah.
to.
Kelly Johnson, Brian Roberts from the Orioles.
Does Johnson playing third?
Yep, and Brett Gardner.
And
That's pretty
that's
decent.
Ichiro,
That's
too, right?
decent. Yeah, Ichiro.
Oh, yeah,
Ichiro
Ichiro
on
on
the
the
bench.
bench.
What? Ichiro on the bench?
Ichiro on the bench.
Yeah.
Ichiro on the bench.
When did you ever think you were going to hear that?
Never.
And no one really else notable on the bench. Brendan Ryan defense maybe, but
Orion?
yeah.
Yeah.
Their starting rotation right now is what's questionable. CC Sabathia,
Yeah.
Tanaka, which is the huge signing right now we'll get to. Hiroki
Alright.
Kuroda.
You know what?
I'll save my
I like
comments.
Hiroki
I will
Kuroda.
save
I
my.
like him.
Oh, Hiroki Kuroda's insane.
I like him.
Hiroki Kuroda's insane.
He throws low 90s, but
He's got that
He's spot.
insane sinker ball.
He's
He's
spot.
got that insane sinker pitch.
I wish
He's got a
Yankees could've
solid
got him.
split.
And then Tanaka has one supposedly better than that. And
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it
His
until
slider
I
is
see
supposed to be
it.
the
I'm
best
just-
slider in
We'll
the
look
world.
into Tanaka. We'll look into Tanaka in a little
it's
bit.
like Godzilla.
Yeah. Remember that?
And Yeah, and they got
And then Pineda too. I mean, he didn't play last year.
Nobody
right?
ever. Excuse me. Nobody ever remembers Michael Pineda.
That's
he
from-
was
that-
gone for
that's
the
from
whole
Seattle,
last year.
right? Seattle?
Yeah.
He had a very
Yeah,
good
but-
year in Seattle, but you also have to look at it this way. He's coming off now an injury for a full year missed. He came from Seattle, which is probably
The
top
best.
2 or top 3 pitchers parks in
Probably
baseball,
the best.
to now going to the Yankees, which is one of the top 3 hitters parks.
Yeah, but all scouts can't be wrong when they say that they compare his stuff to Felix Hernandez.
Yeah.
And Felix Hernandez is pretty much King Dick.
Not anymore.
He still is.
He's
Wow, are you
I've
really
never,
saying
I've
that?
never.
Who got this guy?
No, I like him.
You're don't screw you, dude. You're watching.
I've always liked Felix until the past maybe
Oh, I'm calling
2
Felix
years.
right now. I'm calling
2
Felix
years.
right now.
because
I don't think he did.
he's
I'm like Alberto Feliciano Castellanos.
slowly but surely he's going down on
Well,
his
the-
stats.
that
They
might-
paid him. It's pretty much how the Angels paid him. How the Angels paid Pujols. They're paying Felix just what he's done.
No,
what he did.
I disagree a little bit. I think maybe a little bit of that is based on because his stats overall. I think I'll look it up right now in a bit, but his stats are actually still solid.
Or is it just because when I see him pitch against the Angels, he
know,
does not do good
that's
at all?
what I was going to get to. You might be thinking that because he's notoriously crappy against the Angels.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
get that because
No matter who we.
But no, well, also
Yeah.
that is that when I first saw him pitch, he's throwing 97, 98. I see him now at top out at 92,
Who?
91. Felix.
Okay, let me hold on. Let me take this one hands
Go
on.
for it.
Clayton Kershaw, when his brother came into the base, he was throwing at like 97, 98 consistently as a left-handed pitcher.
Yeah.
Consistently, he.
What was he doing
But
with
however,
the
the big thing about it was he couldn't put hitters away because he didn't have that secondary pitch and he didn't know how to pitch. He was a thrower. That was the big thing. And Clayton Kershaw right now has won 2 Cy Youngs, has had 3 ERA titles back to back to back. You know where he tops out at? 93, 94 if he's lucky.
Even at the point
Because
of
he learned how to
on
pitch.
our own team, he throws
Exactly.
89 now, 90 tops.
On a good day.
But see,
On a good, exactly.
but see, at least that's been at least consistent. And consistently, Felix is going down every year.
But he
Actually,
has
well,
added a few pitches too. He's got like 5 or 6 pitches.
Let me
Perfect example, Greg Maddux.
Okay, let me-
Came into the league throwing 92, 93. Left the league throwing, what, 85, 86? I threw harder than Greg
See,
Maddux.
Also about
Not better,
about
obviously
Clayton
not.
Kershaw.
Not better. Definitely not better.
About Clayton Kershaw though, he's
Not
a
yet.
lefty. Lefties don't apply to righty equivalents. It's not equal. Because you can say
That's racist.
It's just different.
Why are you being racist?
No, I'm saying it's different
Let's
equals.
No, but
Stats.
the big thing is that he had an ERA at 4 when he was throwing 97, 98. He learned how to pitch, threw it like 93, 92. All of a sudden he starts 2.27.
Yeah, but he's a lefty.
Yeah, well then why was his ERA at above 4?
His lefties are different than
Because he
righties.
couldn't throw strikes. He couldn't.
Yeah.
He could throw strikes, but he couldn't put pitchers. He couldn't put hitters away.
He couldn't throw the
A
curveball for a
baseball
strike.
player, a decent hitter, can hit a fastball no matter how fast it is.
Exactly.
Unless he has something back.
Pretty much what I'm trying to say is that Felix Hernandez learned how to pitch.
All right, well, hold on.
That's what I'm trying to
Okay.
say.
No, Kershaw.
You just did
No.
your argument.
Yeah, you did. That's what I'm saying.
Because you said they can hit the fastball no matter how fast. But
Yeah.
your argument was that
He's
Felix
driving.
Hernandez-
But if you mess up, you throw a 92 compared to a 97, it's a miss or a
right,
home
then
run.
And this is when you know how to pitch. It doesn't matter how hard you throw. It doesn't. Am I right or am I right?
All right, well, let me put an end to this argument by actually bringing up his stats. Watch.
No.
All right. So the last two seasons, he's had an ERA of 3.06 and a 3.04. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, that's really good.
2011, which is the year before that, he did dip a little bit with a 3.47, and
How
maybe
many innings?
233. So he's
That's a lot of
consistently
innings.
logging a lot of innings.
That's a lot of innings.
So that's compared to, I guess you're maybe seeing is 2 years where it might have been the anomaly, where he had 2 years back to back,
I like when
2.49
man uses big words.
and 2.27, which those are amazing years. One of those won the Cy Young. The other one he came up runner up.
What year was it that he won the ERA title?
The same year he won the Cy Young, 2010. He won 13 wins only.
How old
but
was he?
He was 24.
24.
So now he's 27. He's had two.
That's young.
He's only had 2 seasons.
Imagine if you won the ERA title when you were 24. Imagine.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He's only had 2
said I-
seasons where he had a sub
Nice.
sub 3 ERA.
Nice.
So pretty much he's been falling back to where he was, but 3.04, 3.06. That's on during the baseball during
Especially
the steroid
corporate,
era.
especially
those were Cy Young.
Yeah.
American
Good.
League DH. You guys got an extra hitter.
I guess it just
Especially
has to
that,
do with
that's
being
insane.
watched. Whenever I do see him,
No, he's getting rocked by the
he
Angels.
gets rocked by the Angels.
Even when
And
they're
I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
There's always gonna be this one team. There's always gonna be this one team that you can't dominate. And I guess for Felix Hernandez, it's the Angels.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be this one team.
and there's
Doesn't matter who it is.
also the one team that no name lefties can dominate, and that's also the Angels.
Yeah.
John Smoltz.
yeah.
John Smoltz, I think the guy who always dominated him, I think it was Quentin McCracken.
Quick.
Yeah.
Sounds made up.
There was this joke that John
He's
Smoltz...
all Hall of Fame Rocky, right?
There was a joke that John Smoltz would say, saying, you know what? Every single time that I was going to pitch against him, he would always call me the night before to make sure that I had a solid ride to get to the ballpark because he wanted me to be there. There was always that joke. It doesn't matter how good you are, there's always this one guy who's going to rock you.
Just like me hitting against you.
Oh, I will own you.
No, I don't
I will own you.
All right, so moving on to we started talking about Tanaka,
Oh, yeah.
and that's one of the signings. He got what 7 years, 155 million.
Technically, the way I see it, he got 7 years, 175.
No, he actually got more than that.
Posting
because of
fee.
But he didn't
Yeah.
get that posting fee, though. So he
No,
gets
well,
55.
technically, Yankees paid
Oh, yeah,
175
Yankees
to pay to.
Which is weird because at first when they were talking about who was going to get him,
Let me interrupt before we. Sorry about that. So about the post, he actually cost, according to this, $252 million.
Fuck
Because
me.
It goes over the luxury tax.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So basically,
It
also costing
yeah.
them an extra $100 million on top of that.
which is one of the reasons I was about to say that, like, why I didn't think the Yankees were going to get him. Well, because the top four that they were talking about was the Cubs, the Angels, the Yankees, and the Dodgers. I for sure thought
The Astros. You know, the Astros offered them over $100 million, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, no one wants to go to the Astros.
I know,
Okay.
but they were in the running. They offered him over $100
I
million.
honestly thought he was going to go to the Cubbies. I
If
really
Brandon
thought he
Barnes
was
was
gonna
still
go.
on there, maybe he would have signed with the Astros.
I don't think so.
Shout out to Brandon Barnes. I see
Oh, yeah.
you, man. Keep on keeping on. I think that's where the camera's at. Oh, it's over there.
I didn't think that they were going to because they made a big point to say that the Yankees were under the luxury tax now that they didn't have to pay A-Rod. And so I thought for sure the Yankees were out. The Dodgers have spent billions of dollars. And so, I mean, yeah.
We were already over the luxury tax.
Yeah, so you
I like
guys
how I
don't
said
give a shit.
we. Just give me a heads up.
So I thought for sure either the Angels, which would have been strange because, like I said before, they got the biggest fish the last 2 years, and this year the Angels.
Okay.
So if they were to get Tanaka this year and didn't win, that would have been like, you guys are fucking stupid. What are you guys doing? Depota would have been fired for sure.
But see, then
Sosha would have been fired. Everyone's head.
But see, then again, the Angels. You don't want to get me started on the whole Angels thing.
No.
You don't want to get me
Let's
started
stick
on
with
that.
Tanaka.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was going to say that's a whole different topic right now. I've said my piece.
All right, so let's get into this. How good do you think Tanaka will actually be? Let me actually bring up some stats before we get into that. It's comparing Tanaka. Okay, these are Tanaka's numbers compared to other Japanese pitchers their year before they actually came into the MLB. Their last season in Japan. So this is Darvish, Iwakuma, who was a runner-up Cy Young this year, Kuroda, and Matsuzaka.
Wait.
All
We were
great
going to Seattle,
pitchers.
right?
Matsuzaka, what'd you say?
Well, I said they were all great pitchers.
Except for
Matsuzaka was.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
but-
like,
No, but
bring it back. I'm like, bring it back a little.
Seattle, right?
I didn't see it until the
Okay, I'm
he's
like,
the last
bring it
one.
back a little bit.
Okay, well, we'll get to Tanaka last, okay?
Yeah.
Matsuzaka had a... how come it says run per 9? Oh, yeah, that's the ERA. Okay, Matsuzaka, ERA 2.42 his last season. Kuroda 3.91, which is kind of high.
He's playing. Oh, the last season he was in Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Iwakuma 3.04.
Yeah.
Darvish 1.63. Tanaka 1.49.
Would you guys mind if I make a call really quick? I'm just kidding.
You may have done that last week.
I did.
And let me bring up one more category. Strikeout for 9 innings. Matsuzaka 9.7. Kuroda 6.2. Iwakuma 6.9. Darvish 10.7. And Tanaka 7.8.
Yeah, that's one thing that they did mention is Darvish was the biggest strikeout pitcher.
Which is why he was more flashy, more impressive.
Right. And then that Tanaka was more the Maddox of the bunch, where he's more finesse, he'll strike you out, get you
Where's my
a
phone?
bunch of innings, but Darvish was the one that would get you the strikeouts.
And actually, looking at the pure numbers right here, it looks like Darvish is a little more impressive, just because his whip would be lower, he gives up less hits, less home runs, walks the exact same.
This is the big thing about Japanese baseball, in my opinion. The biggest thing is if you don't record strikeouts in Japanese baseball, you're not going to be successful in MLB. Because what do they say? Japanese baseball is right in between AAA and the MLB. And if you can't miss bats in the Japanese league, there's no way in shit that you're going to be missing bats in the MLB.
I'm just saying.
That's all I'm saying.
After I saw this picture of you, Darvish, I do not respect
no,
him anymore.
Don't put it on there.
Dude, come on,
Don't
look.
put it on
You
there.
see this picture of you,
I
Darvish?
have not seen a picture.
Okay,
Don't put it on. No, don't do it.
That's you, Darvish, right there.
Wait till it focuses.
There it is. Look at that. That's you,
That's
Darvish.
so bad.
Yeah, exactly.
So now I gotta raise the rating on this.
Here's the backup picture of that one. Though.
Oh, that's so
That's you,
bad.
Darvish, right there.
So the big question is, what does Tanaka look like that?
I don't know. But you, Darvish.
No, but his
Oh,
numbers,
that's so bad.
his numbers look fairly similar to.
I don't know
To
what
Darvish.
Darvish anymore after that picture.
And well, for Darvish's credit though, he's putting up pretty awesome numbers
Yeah.
in Texas, which is
Yeah.
pretty hard to pitch in.
Yeah.
But he was also a strikeout pitcher in Japan from what you were saying.
Yeah, so that's what he's worked on. He was a Cy Young contender. He was top 3 this year.
I think no, actually it was.
He was up there.
Well, my question for you guys though is, I mean, we always talk shit and say like, okay, the USA has the best players because we do have a mixture of the best teams. But in the last couple of years in the Baseball Classic,
Dominican and Japan.
the Japanese have.
But the thing is with
You know
that,
why? I can give you an answer why.
I can give you an answer.
No, do you want to go
You
first?
can go first. Go for it.
Okay. My opinion on the reason why the Japanese have won is because obviously all our Japanese players, they go straight over there. They go straight back to play in Japan. Because the only reason they play over here is because their salaries are inflated, and supposedly it's the world baseball because they have so many players from all over the place.
Right.
But when it comes down to showing loyalty for your country and this, that, the other, they go straight to their own country. And the thing about Japan, very fundamentally sound,
Right.
extremely fundamentally sound. They play baseball the way it should be played. They don't play let's wait for our number 3 guy to go yaya or something. They don't.
And did you know that they're only allowed 5 non-Japanese players per each team? You can't have anything other than no more than 5. Their baseballs are smaller, which is one of the
In
biggest.
Japan, yes,
One of the biggest
right.
things because Tanaka's strikeout pitch
Yeah.
or his bread and butter is the split finger. So they're thinking, I don't know if he's going to be able to get around. I mean, if Darvish can do it,
They said
Kuroda
the same
can
thing
do it.
about Kuroda, exactly.
Well,
I don't know. I think he's going to be solid.
let me argue a little bit too of why that is for why Japan wins or why U.S. doesn't win. Is that here in the U.S. the players are born to only care really about the World Series here. So a lot of the time you didn't see Mike Trout playing. You didn't see not that Josh Hamilton was that great last year, but you didn't see Josh Hamilton participate. You didn't
That's
see
true.
Kershaw participate. You didn't see Matt Kemp dropped out too, right?
Yeah.
When he was injured.
Because he was injured.
Yeah.
Don't-
you didn't see a lot of the best
I'll
players
twist a knife.
because they don't really care. They don't really care too
Well,
much.
and a lot of them have
The ones that do participate,
Contracts.
They're
They have
gonna-
contracts
they're
to say he can't play.
And then, to be fair, somebody also he wasn't that great, but Albert Pujols didn't participate either because of a contract like that as well.
And now-
Raul Poole is
Yeah,
probably
Dominican.
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 In all honesty, guys, we're getting a little off topic. We're starting to talk about the World Baseball Classic when we start talking about Tanaka.
No, but we're talking about Japan though. So we're talking
Okay.
about why Japan, because he's talking about the players that come from Japan and how they dominate, or how they may or may not dominate here.
Okay,
But they continue to dominate.
Because there's, in my opinion, only a couple guys that dominate come from Japan.
No, that's true. Actually, the only one that I would say.
Well, Nobu is pretty solid.
Number was solid for about 5-6 years.
Yeah, that's that.
Which is also a thing that they're talking about because how many innings has Tanaka already put in?
2,300.
And
Exactly.
talking about dominate, you don't have to be a pitcher to dominate. Ichiro could potentially be if he would have started his career here, he could have defeated Pete Rose
Boom.
Yep.
for the best.
Nobody ever says that. Hey, hit me with that one.
Well,
That's-
technically
that's
now,
very true.
if you combine both hits,
No, he
and
did
here,
pass him.
he's passed. He's passed already.
because he missed
Oh, yeah.
about 10
Yeah,
seasons that he could have potentially had here.
Yeah.
On
That's
top of
very
what he's
true.
had, and he's still
Ichiro,
got
arguably, and this
Yeah,
is
that's
obviously
fucking
because
unreal.
Pete Rose is a guy who my dad always talks to me about because Pop started watching baseball in the 70s, and Pete Rose is so good. But in our era, possibly the best hitter is Ichiro Suzuki.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer. Not Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols obviously, Pop, they walk him, this and that, the other. But Ichiro Suzuki, they pitch him every single time, and he still used to hit 330, 340, 350.
And it might be helped because of you mentioned the smaller ball there, and maybe that helps out with his eye. Because how many times you see him just slapping the ball?
Oh, no. Was that a slanted eye thing? Was that what it was?
A little racist.
All right, so make sure. Get out of here.
No, he said that.
Get out of here.
That is.
Get out of here.
No shortcut.
Get this guy out of here.
All right, so now other players. After Tanaka, Garza, for sure, everyone knew he was going to go first. Right after him,
Yeah,
I thought he was going to go to the Angels.
I thought.
It made the biggest sense.
Yeah, because Tanaka was basically the first domino to fall. Everyone's waiting to see what Tanaka was before they pursued Garza, Ubaldo, any of the Urban Santana, any of the other free agents that were available. And it only took less than 24 hours for Garza to sign.
Yeah.
So we knew everyone was just waiting for Tanaka.
Yeah, Tanaka was the first domino to fall.
I was hoping the Angels would be the team that ended up coming out with it, but that wasn't the case.
Because he was the only guy who didn't require a draft pick, right?
Right. I know. Yep.
Yep.
And you know what? I think 4 years, 52 mil is somewhat appropriate. I've never really been sold on Garza myself. I don't know why. There's just something about him that I just really don't. I'm not sure if his delivery or what he was bringing to the table. He always just seemed extremely mediocre to me. He really did.
I've never liked the guy. He's kind of a douchebag.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember the tirade that he had against, was it Eric Sogard?
DeAndre Navarro.
Did he have one with him too?
Yeah, when they were both in Tampa.
Yeah, was it? Weren't they on the same team?
Yeah, when they were both in Tampa. Yeah.
No, because
They pushed each other into the dugout. I remember.
You know the Eric Sogard one, though, right?
Yeah.
Where
Let's get the camera to flip to the no.
we don't have the.
No, we don't got that. we don't got that clip. We don't got that clip.
Next time.
It was a Twitter battle where
How's it pull it out on your phone?
it was a Twitter battle where he's basically telling Eric Sogard's wife to stay out of baseball business because it's a man's sport.
Oh wow! I did not know about that.
Yeah.
Sober has married.
I would have.
married one, right?
Yeah, what? He's married?
I would have ripped his
surprise.
face off.
No,
I
he's
would have
telling
ripped
us
his
that-
face
and
off.
it wasn't just
Jesus.
once; it was a continuous, like maybe 10.
Oh my
tweets.
god!
I'm taking the last beer.
You know what
Hey,
the
you
craziest
already
thing is?
had
I
that.
didn't know Sober was married. That fool looks like a nerd.
Because that's the important thing.
I'm just saying. That's just saying what we're all thinking.
All right, watch.
So I think
Just
it's
because
gonna
you're
look so
blessed
bad.
with amazing looks.
No, he's not.
I'm
He's
sorry.
not that great.
The camera will show.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, vote.
Make sure y'all look at my mustache.
All right, let me read just a couple of tweets that he tweeted to Eric Sogard. Okay, one of them, quote, maybe out of context, but childish is having your wife speak for you. Certain people can't shut their woman up.
Wow.
Keep your woman
Wow.
out of it. Man's game. So no place in Oakland to eat, huh? Where I come from, if my wife spoke up for me, give your husband his balls back. It's a man's game, and keep your trap shut.
Wow.
So this is a little bit of
Yeah, if I was Sogard, I would fuck him up.
Motherfucker talks to my girl like that, I would fucking rip his fucking face off.
He's
dude.
dead.
Yeah, I would rip his fucking esophagus out and have it and feed it to him, and while I'm done, I'd fucking piss on him.
So it's not like I wanted to have Garza on the team because he's kind of a douchebag.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I'm glad we didn't get him.
But it would have
Fuck
been
you,
so-
Matt Garza. Come at
Come on.
So
Eat my dick.
So there's a silver lining.
Like, just don't say anything about my wife, please. Don't say anything about my wife.
Fucking Peckerwood.
Yeah.
No, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
Alright,
So
let's
fuck him.
And enough about Garza. Garza's
So
nasty.
yeah, Santana is worth more money now.
Fucking A right he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
No.
I didn't agree with it before that, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So off the air we have
Garza's a Peckerwood. Garza's a Peckerwood. That's it. He's done. Garza's done. Off to Balfour. Grant Balfour.
Oh, let's actually slide into Urban Santana. Earlier before we were comparing Urban Santana to Garza.
Anyway.
Because Urban Santana, what is he asking? $15 million a year for how many years?
yeah.
For
So
4 years.
Garza,
4 years, 60.
Garza got 4 years, 52 million, and Santana is saying 4 years, 60 million.
By the way, Urban Santana, I remember you. Don't act like you don't remember you being my customer when I worked at AT&T. Shout out to you.
And
Just want to say that.
They say in Anaheim.
At the store in Orange on Main and Chapman. You were my buddy. You and Alfredo Griffin. I remember you.
I helped out Kendrick Morales and Sean Green.
There you go. Sean
Why
Green.
you got a name drop? Nobody likes
Yeah.
name dropping. We got a name drop.
Don't be that
guy.
Kobe 10 years ago.
Don't be that guy, Hans. Don't be that guy.
He was going to Hot Toys.
But yeah, I honestly think that Urban Santana is worth more than Garza.
He's got better stuff,
Exactly.
but he just can't.
Put it together.
If he puts it, put it this way, this year, I honestly believe he put it together this year in the area of 3.2, threw over 200 innings in the American League when you have, well, he's been throwing in the American
Central.
League. Yeah, in the American League. Still doesn't matter.
Okay, but
With the Cubbies, with the Tigers,
Yeah,
with the
Indians.
It's it.
White Sox.
Indians not very good. White Sox are the
Indians were in the hunt till like pretty much the week before.
They made up on
They were still in the hunt.
No, they made it.
They played shit.
They made it.
But
to
they
the
were
wild
still in
card.
the hunt.
Okay, they actually won the wild card. But if you looked at their stats, they took advantage of shitty teams. Their record against shitty teams, which arguably
which you should though.
Yeah, but that's the hitters. That's the hitters. But for him,
Because
302 over 200 innings pitched. 302 anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go,
He's a solid
302.
pitcher.
You know
He's
what?
solid.
You know what?
If he put it together
That's
this
true
year, that's
because-
what he's doing.
Because the Angels, the shitty teams, just say the Astros, they had a losing record.
I always thought
which was the
I
worst
always-
thing in fucking life. How do you lose to the Astros more than you win?
I always
what
thought
were they? 33 and something?
It's
They
'cause-
lost-
it's 'cause
they got.
It's because they had my
15
boy.
wins from
It's because they had my boy Brandon Barnes on the team.
No.
Brandon, I remember you. I see you, man.
And
I see you.
The sad thing is that you compare it to the Astros. Yeah, a team like what's it called, the Rangers. They went 17-2 against the Astros.
Yeah.
But the Angels couldn't.
They went like what 5 maybe wins total.
No, I think they went a little bit closer to 500, but it was still like 8-10 or something.
Yeah, they
like
still
that.
lost. They still lost like amount
But
of
if,
games you shouldn't lose.
but if you want to bring up, what's the name's ERA from last year? It was 3.24 actually, not
Who?
3.0. Santana.
Still 3.2, pretty much.
Okay, but if you want to bring up that and say that as a good example, how about we bring up his 5.16 from the
How long ago was that?
The year before.
Year before? Where was he at?
The Angels in the
Angels.
AL West, a tougher division.
Okay.
At a pitcher's ballpark.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, he led the majors with 39 home runs given.
Given.
In a pitcher's
You want to
Alright.
walk away now?
How many times do actual ball players come out and fucking have the best season of their life on their contract years? Because they're actually fucking committed.
That was his contract year, and he had a 5.16 ERA.
No. I'm just saying. How
That
how
was
often
his
is that?
contract.
Most pitchers or
Most
most
pitchers
players.
should or try to because
Yeah.
contract year. But he didn't.
Because he could.
Then he got let go. They picked him up for like I don't know how. No, he got traded. He got traded, right?
No, wait, back up. Did he actually have a spot on the rotation that
Yes.
year? No, he didn't because they were flopping him
No,
back.
after
From what I remember, they were flopping him back and forth. Garrett Richards and him. They were
No,
flopping.
that was
I
after
think
the
they had
fact.
like a number 5 guy.
Let me end this argument by saying he started 30 games.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yes.
Well, I got nothing to say. I got nothing to say. Alright, the only thing I gotta say is remember Jose Bautista was horrible for like 7 years, and then all of a sudden he figured it out.
It's got to be a specific. Alright, keep it going. The thing is that's making a
Man,
lot of sound.
I gotta be at my buddy's bachelor, my
There we go.
buddy's
Let's keep it
dinner.
going. We're almost done.
Alright.
Alright, so we.
Balfour?
Balfour, whatever.
No.
Time with the Rays. The only reason why this is notable is because there's teams like maybe the Angels who still might have needed some bullpen help, except
I like Balfour.
I hate Balfour. Actually.
The only reason why I wouldn't mind him is
He's
because
a
he's
douchebag.
shown success in the AL West.
Yeah, he's a douchebag. Don't
Yeah,
like him.
he's the biggest.
And he's
douchebag.
another L away from his name being Balfour. So, I don't like him.
And his first name is Grant.
I like that. That was good. That was good.
So, alright,
Plus,
so.
and to end it off, he's from Australia, so.
I know.
He probably
I give him respect.
He probably
I
a pet
give him
kangaroo.
my
What?
respect to him because when it was him, was it Victor Martinez or was it who was it?
It was like
When because Grant Belfour's very animated. He's extremely animated, and that's what he does, and everybody knows that. But Victor Martinez, for some reason, took it to offense.
He's a nice guy, dude. No,
He took it to offense. Grant Belfour wasn't talking about
he was
it.
talking to himself.
No, he was talking to himself.
He does that.
And Victor Martinez took it to offense. And when Victor Martinez took it to offense, Balfour is like, I'm not fucking talking to you. And then Martinez says something, and then boom, they were going, and yeah, but you had your baseball fight, pushing this, that, blah, blah, blah. That's all it was. But, you know, he came up to him. And he's got balls. I like Grant Balfour because that's what you want in a closer. Perfect example, that one year when Eric Gagne was juiced out of his mind.
Yeah.
It was Ray Durham came at Eric Gagne because he threw it next to him. Ray Durham dropped his helmet, dropped his bat thing, his king dick. And then he starts walking towards him, you know, trying to make a big scene. What does Eric Gagne do? Takes off his hat, takes off his glove, starts walking to him with a big old smile on his face. That's all. That's
Well,
what
he's
you need in a
Canadian.
closer.
Canadians fight. Look at fucking hockey.
Yeah.
He's.
I
We love Canadians.
We'll talk about Richard Sherman.
Ah!
Talk about Richard Sherman. We'll talk about Richard Sherman.
Alright, let's move
Oh
on to
my
the Hall of
goodness.
Fame. So, the 3 guys that made it, that everyone knew. Well, do you agree that you
Yeah.
knew that
Yeah.
they were big?
Maddox,
No.
Glavine.
What?
The ones who made it or the ones who didn't make it?
The ones who made it.
Made
Oh,
it.
the ones who made it, yes.
Yes.
Who do you think that should have made it? That didn't?
Mike Piazza should have made it and Craig Biggio should have made it.
Craig Biggio should have made it.
All right. So
Mike Piazza, not for.
Mike Piazza, best hitting catcher of all time.
Doesn't
Why
mean-
is he not?
I
Doesn't
agree with
mean-
flip flop on what you thought. I think Piazza should have made it, but Biggio not so much. I'm kind of
Biggio,
on the side.
all Biggio did, he is the all-time leader of doubles. So all he did when he hit the ball and he got on base. He got on base. Not only did he get on base, but he got in scoring position.
Okay, he got 3,000 hits.
I still think. Okay,
Yeah,
3,000
and he's
hits.
the leader of doubles. He is the leader of
So
doubles.
I think he went in for the 3,000 hits. That's
Yeah.
No, Biggio's
Well, he's not in. He
Biggio's
missed by what?
That's the thing.
2%?
No,
Yeah,
no,
Biggio's
sorry. No.
He should
I
have
think
made it.
he's getting because he was what 1%, 0.2%.
Yeah, he didn't make
away from it from getting. He'll get in. He'll
No,
get in.
Yeah,
that's what it was. He should have been in there for that. But the thing that should have put him over the top is the fact that he's the all-time leader in doubles. I think he's more than likely he's the all-time leader in doubles.
No, but my argument
Because all
is
he
that
did.
my argument is that he doesn't. I probably wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
His thing that helps him is that
Really?
he played 20+ years, which
Yeah.
should be it's an accomplishment on its own. That he's
Yeah,
able to
that
long
he's-
last so long.
yeah.
So did Cal Ripken Jr.
Huh?
So did Cal Ripken
But
Jr.
Carroll's numbers were more consistent and more impressive.
So was Craig Biggio's.
Well, I don't like. All right, so
Craig Biggio
when you
should-
look at the Hall of Fame, you think of it's the best of the best. It's your fucking king dick. And when it comes down to it, like when you look at Craig Biggio, he was average every single. He was consistent, but consistently average. He's not fucking. Who's the best of this era? Craig Biggio. No.
But see, this
I
is,
don't think-
Okay, hold on, let me interject by saying Craig Biggio. I'm looking at his career stats right now.
what's his career batting average?
Hold on, 1 year, he hit more than 200 hits.
All right, well,
one
what's his
season.
career batting
His
average?
career batting average is 281.
That's not bad.
It's not terrible, but is
Yeah.
it Hall of Fame?
No.
His thing is more longevity.
Well,
He
the
played
thing
from the age
is,
22.
if you hit 300, that's amazing. 280 is good.
No. Okay, that's amazing, but that's only Hall of Fame.
280 for your career?
That's good.
good.
But that's not Hall of Fame.
But
You're looking for okay.
Okay.
Here's decent players. Here's great
And
players.
and-
here's Hall of Fame.
And
players.
this is the thing about the Hall of Fame. Nowadays, I think that the Hall of Fame that isn't as it's not as highly looked up to as it used to be
what I'm
before.
saying. That's
Because
that's my
nowadays,
point.
players are bigger, players are stronger, the strike zone is smaller, is fit more to the hitter.
as it should.
No,
be.
but
It's fit more to the
it
hitter, and then that
evens
way,
out.
if
No,
you get
it evens out,
if you
dude.
get 2,800 hits and 500 home runs, 501, you're a fucking Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But the shit that pisses me off is there's players like Robbie Alomar, who in my generation, the greatest second baseman
Of all time.
that I have ever seen,
Yeah.
didn't make it the first round.
The
Didn't
thing,
make
the
the
thing
first
is,
ballot.
it's not one way or something. It evens out. Back in the day, the strike zone was close.
Yeah,
it
it was
wasn't
built
as
for the
far.
pitcher.
It was built for the pitcher, and this and
that's
that.
why.
So
Because you
now
had guys
it's a
like-
little bit the other way around.
Because you had guys like Steve Carlton, you had
But now-
Steve Rogers,
No, but now
Bob Gibson.
It wasn't
You
special.
had Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, you had Fernando Bonzo.
But-
You had
But
it was a
especially-
pitcher's
but
league, no
especially
matter where
now-
you went.
Especially now, there wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna throw one guy for one hitter. I'm gonna throw another guy for another hitter. That's how it is now. So now it's harder to hit.
It's like, and you know what? Before the steroids, Rafael Palmeiro was a question mark to the Hall of Fame. Before people found out he did steroids.
Why? If you hit,
Because you know why?
home runs.
Because you know why? Because all he did was pad stats. But he was never the greatest ball player
I
in
would
his
agree
era.
with that.
Right? Do you agree
I
with
would
me?
agree with that.
He was never the greatest ball player in his era. But if you look at stats, 3,000 hits, 500 home runs.
And hit 37 home runs pretty much every
Boom.
year that he played.
But people
that's
didn't
good.
look at him as a Hall of Famer.
I thought
Because he
was.
wasn't the greatest ball player, was he not?
Because he played during the steroid era where people were consistently hitting 45 to 50 home runs a year. He always hit about 37 to 40-ish home runs, where it wasn't enough to stand out. But nowadays, it would fucking
And then he
stand out.
popped Viagra and he was doing 35 jacks every year. For goodness sake, the big
okay,
nasty got to go pee-pee.
For example,
you have a thing
Oh,
on
that's
here.
right, that's true.
Yeah.
For argument's sake, let me bring up Garrett Anderson to compare with Craig Biggio.
Yeah.
Ooh, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
All right.
He usually led in doubles.
He usually led in doubles. Okay, this is what I'm saying. It's all about, for Craig Biggio, the main argument there, because who would even say Garrett Anderson deserves to be in the Hall of Fame?
Nobody.
I wouldn't.
Nobody.
And I'm an Angel fan. I wouldn't say he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But you compare his stats, he batted .293 for his career.
Damn.
Higher than Biggio. His home runs, .287, compared to Craig Biggio's
I'm sure that's pretty much more.
.291. Four home runs difference. But Craig Biggio played 20 years. Garrett Anderson, supposedly 17, but there was 2 years in there where he didn't play at all. Really.
Yeah.
So it was more 15 years.
Yeah.
So he had about a 5-year difference between Biggio. So with only 4 home runs less. His doubles were about 120 less, but in his hits, the hits wise right there, 2,529. If he would have played a good 4 or 5 years more than that, he would have reached the 3,000 hits. Mm-hmm. Is Garrett Anderson a Hall of Famer?
Nope.
No. So what I'm saying is, if Garrett Anderson looks like all they really need, because Craig Biggio, if he's that close already, he has, 15 tries they get? If they get 15 years to get into the Hall of Fame, Biggio's going to get in there.
Yeah.
He's going to get in there, whether it's not
He's
next
going to
year.
get it next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll get it next year.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to that too, like some of the writers were saying that because you have to put 10 people on the ballot, right? You have to vote for who goes on the ballot, and for the ballot, you vote who goes in. But then a lot of times they say like, depending on the competition, on the ballot itself, not like the player. They say like, all right, this is a weak ballot, so I'm going to vote Piazza and Biggio because of the comparison of who's on the ballot, not how good they were. It's they compare who's on the ballot.
I thought you didn't have to vote if you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
right?
I would have rather say like, oh, these guys are weak. I'm not going to vote for them.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have
to. They make that comparison. Like, these guys, or this year, fucking Frank Thomas, you got Maddox and Glavine, so of course they're going to vote for them. And they said they compare them like, oh, these guys aren't as good, so they're not going to make it. I'm thinking that's why Biggio didn't make it. But next year they're not going to have as many. I mean, Smoltz for sure is going to be in.
Yeah.
And
just because how many wins did Smoltz have?
He had enough. We had more than 200 wins, but also more than 200 saves.
More than 300 saves. I think.
No, was it?
I think it was more than 300
I think it was
saves.
250.
Oh, was it? It was something
Or like
ridiculous
in
that no one's ever
I
had.
don't think over 300, but yeah, nobody's ever had that
so
many wins and saves.
And his
Actually,
ERA,
probably got close.
his ERA, total ERA is probably.
I'll tell you about today.
ERA is under 3.5. For sure.
Just to say, he got how many wins? He got 213, so over 200.
Yeah.
And saves.
Or 300.
Or maybe it was just 250 over 200 over 150 because he got 154 saves.
Oh,
Wow. But okay, so comparing, back to my point about Craig Biggio basically getting this for longevity. Just compared to Mike Piazza, who I do think deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, should have already been.
His career batting average is 308. That's incredibly solid.
Yeah.
He hit over 400 home runs with 427 home runs, and he got over 2,000 hits. He essentially only played 13 years. According to this, he played 16. But I'm looking at it. There's 3 years. His first year plus 2 in the middle where he didn't play at all. Actually, more down here.
Probably hurt too.
Actually, he essentially played about 11 years.
Yeah.
Because he got hurt.
Because he was hurt pretty much for the most part, but didn't play much at all.
Honestly, it kind of sucks that Maddox and Glavine went in this year. I was kind of hoping that they would have not gone in this year. Main reason because Smoltz was eligible next year, and then you honestly have the Trinity, the holy Trinity of pitchers of all time, pretty much the best pitchers of all time. Well, at least in my era, in our era.
Girls texting you.
No, it's Eric. It's my
brother. Your brother would have came in his.
And you know, fuck, I would have came. I'm coming. I came right now.
I already did.
Twice. Somebody get a napkin. But it would have been amazing to have them all go in at the same time. That's what she said, by the way. All with Braves. All with Braves attire. That would have been so amazing. The holy trinity of all baseball, of all pitchers. That's all I'm saying. It would have been amazing.
With Bobby Cox.
Give me some of that. Give me some of that.
But there's no chance. They should have both. Well, Maddox more so than Glavine should have got 100%.
Yeah.
Voting.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But there was that voter that said that he wouldn't vote for anyone in the steroid era, regardless of any.
Regardless if you're a guy who only throws 85 miles an hour, facing the people in the steroid era.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into voting because there's a guy. It was this year, the Dodgers, who voted Mike Trout like number 7 for MVP voting, which was a Dodger writer.
We went over that last year.
I don't even get into that.
Last
that guy should have got fired. That turned in.
Might have been last year.
Stupid. Yeah, it was this past year.
Well,
It was stupid. He put stupid ass people in front of him. Like they're good players, but not good enough.
If you watch our last reporting,
yeah.
But the point was that he contradicted his own reasoning for saying Mike Trout was not the MVP or voting him 7th when he voted people above him that didn't make the playoffs, which was one of his stipulations.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So to close it off, anyone have anything to say? Any comments?
I think you want to talk about Richard Sherman a little bit.
No, not so much. Not so much. I guess two small things. Richard Sherman. They keep saying that he's a thug, and he's all. I heard it on the radio today. A couple people were calling him a thug. He's very extremely uneducated. For his comments that he made, football is an extremely emotional sport. Mm-hmm. He got lost in the moment. You can't blame him. You can't blame him.
You have to be in a mindset. You have to. Yeah.
He said, if you listen to what he said at the end of the game, he went up to Michael Crabtree. He's like, "Hey, hell of a game.
Well, that's what he said.
Exactly. And obviously he said what he said with wasn't it Aaron Andrews?
Yeah.
However, the fact that they're calling him a thug, I don't agree with it. And he made a great point. In hockey, they have guys right there at the face-off. All of a sudden, the puck drops, the mitts fall to the ground, and then all of a sudden they start throwing blows.
Like a white. So who
That's
cares?
the thing. And nobody pays attention to that. And all of a sudden they call this guy a thug. Not one punch being thrown, but he said what he said. Second,
hold on, real quick before you move on to that, we can go back onto that. The one thing that nobody looks at is that these football players, they're calling them uneducated or whatever. They take them out of fucking high school. They don't have college education.
Exactly.
You can't blame someone for fucking being the top of their game and being 18 years old and getting a full ride to college. And they don't care. They don't care about college because they're about to hit the NFL and make big money. So they can't say, well, this guy's uneducated. It's not his fault. He's fucking good at his game. So fuck that. Don't blame him for being emotional. Go ahead.
Second, I just want to say a side comment. I'm gonna meet up with my buddy Eric. It's his bachelor, well, not his bachelor party thing. It's his whole dinner for his old groomsmen. Congratulations again. Just giving you a heads up.
We'll put a link to the pictures.
Congratulations.
Raul, anything to add?
No, he's drinking ginger ale. He's good.
No, but thanks for having me for the first time. And
ladies, leave comments on his facial hair.
Well, I do have a girlfriend and a kid, so just keep that in mind.
Just say
if you're overlook that baggage.
Just say hi. I can text you back. No, not text you back. Just say hi back. That's what I meant.
What up, man?
All right.
Wrap it up over here, Berts.
Go ahead and if you have any questions, leave it to Los Compadres Del Beis at gmail.com.
Can you spell that out for them? Because I think a lot of people
don't know how to spell that. If they YouTube it, they'll see.
Well, they probably don't know how to spell Los Compadres.
LOSCOMPADRESBELBEAIS.
Or leave a voicemail at 657-229-2347, and that's 657-229-BASE. BEIS.
Hold on, give me a sec.
Alright, thank you.
Keep on keeping on, guys. Keep on keeping on.